I've seen him naked. He's a lot. There's no way he could be scarier with his clothes on. And after what Avenatti put me through last January, then I'm not scared. I don't know. Like, I still feel kind of numb. It's starting to sink in now, but not in a good way. Just going through some of the things that I've gotten in the last couple of hours. All platforms, so social media, that's obvious, you know what I mean, but like emails and phone numbers and like through, I mean, I would say that the number and the intensity is the same as it was the first time around, like the number, and like it was a lot of aggression the first time, but this time it's straight up violent. Like the first time it was like gold digger, slut, whore, liar, whatever. And this time it's like, I'm gonna murder you.
Are you frightened?
For the first time ever, yeah. And part of me is hesitant to say that because I don't want to show, you don't want blood in the water. It kind of encourages the sharks. But I would say like the first time around, I probably got a straight up like death threat or 1 in 100. It's like 1 in 10. And it's especially scary because Trump himself is inciting violence and encouraging it and getting away with it. And I'm not afraid of him or the government, but it just takes one crazy supporter who thinks they're doing, God's work or, protecting democracy, and I'm just looking at a couple of things that have come through in the last 2 hours and they're way more violent and graphic.
Do you think that his supporters feel emboldened in a way that they didn't before, especially following January the 6th, knowing that they can kind of coalesce in a way that we hadn't seen before then?
Absolutely. And, people are more desperate and the country is more divided. And we've gone through, years of this. We've gone through COVID and, Biden is the president now. And a lot of people don't think he's doing a great job. It's really scary. And people just seem to be getting crazier.
Does any of it make you wish you'd never said anything?
Sometimes, but it's always fleeting. Like sometimes in the moment, I'm like, what the was I thinking? Was it worth it? Is the world worth saving? I was doing so good. I was so happy and had this life that I worked so hard for, and it's gone forever. But then I'm like, I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror. I get in these moments where I get emotional. I'm like, I wish I'd never done this. This is so stupid. What the was I thinking? But I'd still do the same thing. Because it was the right thing to do. If I could go far enough back to where I did go to the hotel room that night, I stand by that. I wouldn't have done it. But if I go back only so far as coming forwards, I would do the same thing again. No warning, my attorney didn't know either. I thought today was going to be quiet. I took a nap. I went out. I was riding my horse. I took my phones out of my pocket, set them on the fence, and I could hear my phone dinging, but it seemed to be a lot more. And then I was like, what's going on? And then my husband came out and was like, my phone's blowing up. So what just happened? I was like, I don't know. Let me finish up here and get off. And then, I have all these things. But the first one I saw was my attorney. So I called him and he told me, I was surprised. Although I do think that there's something really ironic and hilarious that I got the news about the indictment while I was sitting on a horse named Redemption.
That's poetic.
It's so poetic. It's a horse and its name is Redemption. Like, just the jokes write themselves. I had a Zoom call with, the prosecutors and told them what I did and made it clear that I was willing to go on the stand and tell my story if they needed me. But I have yet to actually be called or any of that. I fingers crossed that I do. Like, I'm not afraid. I have nothing to hide. I look forward to telling everybody what I know. But at this very moment in time, I have not officially been called. It looked like I was going to be called 2 Fridays ago, and then it changed. So it changes by the minute, honestly.
Yeah. I was about to ask how you feel about potentially taking the stand and potentially having to face Trump in court.
You know, I've seen him naked. He's a lot. There's no way he could be scarier with his clothes on. And after what Avenatti put me through last January, then I'm not scared.
What would a win look like for you? What would you like the outcome to be?
Selfish. I can only speak from like a selfish and personal opinion on that, and that's that it is revealed that I was telling the truth. I didn't lie about anything. That all the details come out. That all the misconceptions are cleared up, and that a person in power is not exempt from the law, no matter what your job is or your bank account says. That you're held accountable for the things you've done and said, and justice is served.
Yeah.
But from a broader perspective, if somebody gets away with bad behavior, then it encourages other people to do that as well, and it scares people from coming forward and feeling safe, and that's not okay.